of mystery and horror, the air itself is filled with monsters.
Children of the night, what music they make. He's alive! He's alive!
Well, hello, all you monster fiends, and thank you for joining us for another deep dive, factoid-filled episode exploring Hollywood's most famous monsters. I am your mistress of ceremonies, Sam, and I'm joined, as always, by Dan from Bleeding Marvelous. Say hello, Dan.
I feel like something bad's going to happen to me. I feel like something bad has happened. It hasn't reached me yet, but it's on its way. Hiya!
Hi. Bloody hell.
To quote James Stokes, surprise, motherfuckers.
Some fries, motherfucker.
Not even 30 seconds in and we've got the motherfuckers out the way. Woo!
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Where we are today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Monsters Up North podcast. Today, we're going back to found footage horror. And I am so effing... I don't know why now I feel the need to put an effing in that. I'm so fucking excited. I needed this. I needed this.
It's a good reset film in one way because you don't know what you're watching. It's so confusing in so many ways, but it's very simple in so many others.
Yes.
It's like it's so layered.
Oh.
It's just...
Absolutely. So yes, I'm going to do the disclaimer and then we're going to get into this week's episode, which is Lake Mungo, or Mango as I've been calling it all week. Because dyslexia is a thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions, and it's our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on our socials, or you can join us in the comment section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong, because we can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun. Keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Yes, we shan't be a dick. No.
No, let's not do it. Not today.
Not
today.
No.
No. Oh god, Nicolas Cage isn't even in this movie. Lake Mungo is the 2008 Australian psychological horror film, that is an understatement, written and directed by Joel Anderson, presented in a pseudo-documentary format with elements of found footage and docu-fiction. What a word. It is Anderson's only film. Mm-hmm. It follows a family trying to come to terms with the loss of their daughter Alice after she drowns and the potential supernatural events they experience after it. If you've never seen a ghost, look closer, as Monsters Up North brings you Lake Mungo. Dun, dun, dun! Haven't done one of them in a long time.
Now. Yeah, see, I was going to apologise for calling it found footage last week, but it is classed as found footage. If you watch any top 10, top 50 found footage countdowns, it's in there. So it must be classed as found footage, but it's more mockumentary heavy than it is found footage heavy, I suppose. But
yes. Up until recently, it was in the top 3 of found footage horror.
Really?
Up until recently, yeah. It essentially is a documentary with found footage elements in there. A lot of found footage elements in there. And it's just the minute I realised it was a documentary setting, I was like, oh shit, yes. And you know what the greatest part about it was? It didn't feel like we were watching a Netflix documentary. Do you know when they do them really weird cuts where people are like talking and then it'll just go.
It felt like Netflix watched this and went, that's how we're going to make every single one of our documentaries.
Oh
Like,
my God,
we're
yes.
going to take the format of watching a car drive up a road and then interview one of the family members, and then a
It's
derelict part of the village, and then
do you-
a family
it's
member, you
it's
know.
when you see the funeral directors and it focuses on their face and then they're just standing.
It was just that makes me laugh every time I see that bit. It's perfect, but because you know it's not real, you know what they're doing with
Yeah,
that scene, and you're just like everything about that is just perfect for what you were
yeah.
trying to achieve.
So this is a documentary of a family who have lost their daughter and the events that kind of follow afterwards. Um, Jordan Peele does class this as one of his all-time favorites.
Also, Mike Flanagan wrote a review. Well, no, actually, he had an interview with Letterboxd and reviewed this movie as his all-time
Yes.
favorite found footage movie ever.
Yes.
So,
Now, I don't have a great deal of information on the actual movie, which I really am not mad about.
oh no.
Not in this one, no. What I found interesting was the theories.
I actually do have a few theories, but I also have a bit of information about the
Mhm.
area and
Oh,
about like Lake Mungo itself, as it's actually a real place.
it is.
So,
New South Wales.
yes. Now the the scenes that you see at Lake Mungo were all shot at Lake Mungo. But it's actually a dry bed lake. That's
Yeah.
what it is. And in 1968, the remains of a young Aboriginal woman were uncovered. She was nicknamed the Mungo Lady.
Yeah.
She was found to be ritually buried, and her bones were approximately 40,000 years old, which means she predates
Jesus.
so many human remains. It's absolutely insane. 5 years later, they found the skeleton of a male, which was around 40 to 42,000 years old, so around the same time, also ritually buried, and they were called the Mungo Lady and the Mungo Man. And now this is all according to the National Museum of Australia. But in 2003, nearly 460 ancient footprints were discovered in the clay pan around the lake area, the largest
Shit.
collection of its kind in the world, right? So they dated these footprints to be over 20,000 years old. They
Hey.
fossilized, and they are some of the oldest in existence, which I
No.
absolutely crazy to me. I know it's stupid. I mean, I know this isn't a fun fact moment, but it's just like one of those things where you start reading into it and it starts becoming quite fascinating. But
It was one of my facts.
was it-
The footprint bit wasn't, but
yeah,
the Lake Monk, the because there's what I was. I'm going to admit when I watched this first. Now, depending on the film, I can do my notes either before or after. And I purposely went out my way to do these after because I'd heard so many good things about this, and I was like, just go and experience it.
yeah.
And when I watched it, I was like, I'm not actually, I can't believe this. I'm not bothered about great deal of facts about it. I'm more interested in the theory side of what everyone thinks about that. Are you on the same wavelength as me? So that was probably one of the only ones, the Jordan Peele one, that I got.
Well, the Aboriginal people, the tribes of the Aboriginal people that they think they originally came from,
Mhm.
which were around that time, their ancestors demand that they be returned to the country because I think they were exported out to wherever whoever the person was that discovered them, I think took them back to wherever it was. So
Is it not just for lab work and stuff,
it,
or
it mainly could have been, to be honest with you,
all
there
right?
wasn't a big amount of information on where they went, just that they
Mm.
needed to be returned back to Australia. But the remains were then returned and re-interned back into their place that they were found. So they took them, the man and the woman, and they laid them back to rest in their exact graves that they were found
Well,
in.
they
And,
had been there for 40,000 years. I
but you don't
mean,
hear of that. You don't hear of the level of respect of putting them back where they were supposed to be. It's usually
they go into museums. This is museum material. So yeah, I mean, yeah, how many times have you been to a museum and there's mummified remains there? They came from some. Oh my God, yeah, that is like a huge level of respect.
Yeah, massive. I mean, it the it's they chose their settings well in this film, and my next fact will also relate back to the film, but it's also a sort of like a wonder because the graffitied boulders that you see in the film when they're interviewing one of her schoolmates, he's standing in front of a bunch of rocks with graffitis on, a load
Yes.
of graffiti, and it's a real location in Victoria called the Sister Rocks.
Oh,
And it was named after the three Levi sisters who were among the area's first settlers during the mid 1800s gold rush. Um, Basically, they were three young girls that went missing, and it took in basically in December 1883, they reported that the three children became lost in the bush while on their way to visit the Sister Rocks and were found after not less than 3,000 people were engaged in the quest of looking for these girls.
wow.
3,000 people. They were found,
Yeah.
and so they named the rocks then the Sisters Rocks
Oh, wow.
after them, which it was just one of those weird facts where I looked into them and I saw them and I just thought they're fascinating because they're just a bunch of boulders, which
Yeah.
really is unassuming, but because they're graffitied over as well, there's a lot of hoo-ha about whether they should be graffitied on or not, but it seems to be a long-standing tradition of something that's been going on forever. And the graffiti originally started from the guy who used to go and take stone from them to use them as a stonemason, and he'd actually like chipped his name into them
Right.
years and years ago. So it's like this thing that's tumbled on from there. But yeah, it was it was quite interesting because they seem to have chosen the locations really, really well. Like it felt like a proper family home, but I could feel the unease of the house,
It,
like
yeah.
as well.
The minute, sorry, I don't know what you're doing. The minute you, this is not normally the cat who joins us. The minute you're in that house, it's cold. It's so cold, and
Like
you know something's happened.
yeah. All the shots are very like I know that's purposeful when they make these documentaries. They want things to look sparse and they want them to look empty. And the
Bleak.
whole point of yeah, bleak, that's the right word. So when they're doing all the shots of a bedroom and it's just the bed and it's sort of half it's made, but it's not really properly made. Everything just looks
Meh.
yeah and
Because yeah,
grayish and
yeah. Even at the end when they're leaving the house, that coldness just, and obviously for a reason, does not disappear. Um, the theories I will go into once we've done the film, because this is the layers. Dan was not wrong about the layers in this and the actual themes that run through this movie. You've got grief and loss, you've got emotional trauma, you've got unresolved issues, you've got memory and reality, you've got living memory, you've got supernatural and haunting in there as well, and extension ex
existential.
thank you, dread, family secrets,
Yep.
family bonds, difficult truths, uh, the ancient spaces. It's like there is so much to this, and I have been so excited to do this episode so I can get to unravel everything because I have had no one to talk to this past few days because I have not been at home, and my husband genuinely wants to watch this film, so I can't sit and bore the life out of him with it.
The makeup was done. Now, when we talk about the makeup, there's a specific scene which we'll get to, which I think
Yes.
is fantastic. Now, the makeup, there was three people who worked on the makeup. Justin, now I want to call him, it's Dix, so I don't know whether it's pronounced Dix or D, depending, like the pronunciation. But he worked on a movie that I want us to cover at some point, which is another Australian movie, and I've watched it years and years ago. It's in my movies to watch on the page. It's called The Loved Ones. And then he's also just worked on Dangerous Animals, which is a movie that's just come out, which looks really, really.
Yes.
Joe Fletcher who is most famous for working on Round the Twist. Have you
No.
ever felt like this when strange
Strange
things
things
happen?
happening when you're going round the twist.
Yeah, and then you've got the main guy, but I don't know if he was the main guy then, Larry Van Dunhoven. Now he's worked on Hacksaw Ridge, Upgrade, Preacher, The Invisible Man, Mortal Kombat, Furiosa, the most recent one, and then Bring Her Back. It was his most recent film.
Holy mother of God. Okay, so I was just checking because I was gonna make a bold statement about Australian horror, and I wanted to go and check if that was one because I don't want to piss off anyone from New Zealand or anyone from Australia by mixing the two. And I've literally just Googled Bring Her Back. Holy shit. I have found such an infinitive love for Australian horror over this past year. With Bring Her Back, with Talk to Me as well. I really enjoyed that.
I will say, I think it's the Philippou or Philippou brothers that did
Yes,
Bring Her
yeah.
Back. I haven't got it written down in front of me. This is just memory, so I do apologize on the pronunciation, but they are chaotic. I watched a couple of interviews with them, and frig me, if you're someone who cannot follow like zigzag, then you're screwed with their interviews because those two boys are all over the place. They are
And that is so weird
manic
because
energy.
but the thing is that's so bizarre because in their movies everything is quite it's they have such a knack of being able to take you from here to up there and give you such a payoff that it's like a punch.
Mm.
And they do it so cleverly.
And this is something that may well surprise you. Now, I know you said that Joel Anderson, this was his only film.
Because Wikipedia told me that.
Guess what, though? He
Mm-hmm.
co-wrote
Mm-hmm.
Late Night with the Devil.
He fucking didn't. Have I said his name before?
He was a co-writer, and he had something to do with the screenplay situation for Late Night with the Devil, which is, and I will stand and die on the hill that David Dastmalchian is my older goth brother, and I will send a one-man woman campaign to have him come to For the Love of Horror at some point because we all need to lay in a coffin and be interviewed
Just
because it's just standard.
that man is an absolute fashion icon and amazing human being and an amazing actor. And I have so enjoyed this series of Dexter because of, and not just him, to be honest, the entire cast, everyone. I can't believe how quickly I have gotten through that series.
This season, Resurrection has been a surprise because it feels like they found old Dexter again. It feels like, whilst I know it's not Miami, whilst I know it's not the same people, the cameos have helped, but they've been, it's not been the focus. The focus has been the storyline of what's going on at the moment, but it feels like Dexter again. It feels like
The
the monologue.
funniness.
It feels like there's the right amount of tongue-in-cheek jokes and the I don't know. It just feels right again, and
Yeah.
I'm gutted for Original Sin because they didn't need to cancel that to bring Resurrection in for another season. I think they could have done both. Original Sin for me was I was not really overly enthusiastic about the idea of a prequel for Dexter, but it worked. It really worked, and it just saddened me that they've said no one's enough. No, it's not. I've seen a petition. Someone's even started a change.org.
I'll sign it. I've not seen it yet, but I'll sign it because I'm so back in it's I never thought it would happen. I really didn't. I dropped off Dexter after Colin Hanks' series because I was like, ugh. Um, but I am so back in this world. I love Harrison. I think he's so cool.
Yeah, I hated him in New Blood. He was awful. I don't know why they wrote him that way. And it
They
wasn't
changed him at the end though. They got it.
there's something the writers worked really hard. If it's the same writers, they work really, really hard to give him more of a personality, to give him more of a purpose, to make him more of a rounded character. And I know we're
Yeah.
going off here, but
Yeah,
still.
no, you're absolutely right, because he was such it. They took that, you know how they could have literally gone with the whole angry kid syndrome throughout the whole thing, and it would have been tiresome. But to have that and then evolve that was genius. And then to have him where he is today, I love it. Go and watch Dexter, but after you've watched us, that would be nice of you to say, stay with us,
Yeah, I
please.
mean, there really isn't that much in the way of stuff to tell you about behind the scenes like we normally bring you, because this is an unknown filmmaker making a film with people who haven't really got that much credits outside of the Australian borders, you know. Some have, but really for the most part, everybody in this world you haven't seen in anything else. Some of them haven't even been in Neighbours. What does that tell you?
That tells you everything you need to know about them.
So, you know, that's where we are really for the facts that I can bring you,
Well,
because
I've got one more.
oh,
One more. Actually, two. The last name Palmer.
yes.
Obviously, reference Laura Palmer. That's me fact.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one, because there is a lot of, you can see the comparison
Yeah.
or the inspiration. It depends how you look at it, really, about the whole Twin Peaks situation. You can definitely see it.
Yeah, well, it's the whole secret double life, and fair enough. Laura Palmer didn't drown, but she was found on a beach, and it was water related, and yeah, there's them. Um, the film poster has a tagline, and I didn't want to use it in my opening because I didn't want to confuse the situation. And
Yes.
it is Alice died in 2008, but in this film, she died in 2005. When I read that, I was so confused.
Hmm.
But the more it's played out in my head, I'm like, I, I think I get it now.
I think I get it. I think I get it. I mean, my interpretation of it might be completely different to yours, but I think I get it. But we
Well,
can't really talk about that until we've talked about the fan theories. So it's
right.
like,
Let's get into the actual film itself, because
yeah,
we need to lay the groundwork out, so then the theories will make sense.
yeah. I've got a lot of fan theories. So, well, I've got three. I picked three. So,
I don't know how many I picked. So while swimming with her family at a dam in Ararat,
Ararat. Yeah.
thank you, 16-year-old Alice Palmer disappears. And the documentary starts with the incident of her disappearance, her brother telling that story. And then there's like her brother's side of it, her parents' side, and then there's the news reels, the newscast, and the police officer
The
who,
friends.
yeah, the friends, the
And
families.
yeah, the church
Yeah.
lady. I'm not really sure if she was a deacon or she was a friend of the family. I don't know. That bit I got a bit confused on. So
I had to go back a little bit because I can't I can't see my mum's telly very well because of how far away it is from the actual couch. Like couch, telly. And I genuinely can't. It doesn't matter if I've got my glasses on or not. I cannot fucking see it. So I felt like I missed names. So I had to go back and have a look and then realize that some actually didn't have a name. And if it did, it flashed up really quick. So I didn't get a chance to see who they were. I just figured friends, family, people who knew Laura. That's
Nora, brilliant. Alice.
Alice, Ali, Alice.
Yeah.
I loved her dad, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I will say he sold this entire movie in respect of that he was a normal bloke telling
He
a
was
normal bloke
he was
story.
us.
And that was the thing. You genuinely believe
Hmm.
this is a documentary,
Yeah.
other than the subject matter, other than everything else, all the little found footage bits. When it's just him being interviewed, you genuinely believe him.
Yeah, you do. 100%.
And it's not
He
overacting either. It's
no, I mean the mother, I could kind of tell she was an actress,
yes.
but not him. Him and his friend, his co-worker. There was something about the co-worker. I was like, oh God, you're very real.
Yeah.
Like,
It felt like they just asked him to come in and help him.
yeah,
But he didn't.
yeah.
Then he was just like, yeah, I noticed he wasn't really accepting anything and he was sort of acting all weird and
It just
Yeah.
sold it so well. Like, it was just real. And that was the same with the dad. It was so real. The brother,
I wonder how
it,
much of it was scripted because I feel like maybe the questions that they're being asked by the interviewer that you never see in the
oh,
interview
what a good
portion.
thing.
I
That's a good
wonder if they're
point.
just like, I want you, these are the plot points. You can't divert from that, but you can say
But
whatever you like. So I feel like that might have been why it felt real because they're actually ad-libbing and they're,
oh, that's. I wonder because in Blair Witch that was just it, wasn't it? It was just notes. It was just key points. This is we need to go from A to B.
yeah,
Maybe that's how found footage works in a respect of realism.
yeah, because they're not, then they're not technically acting because they're not having time to be in the head of the character. They're just literally answering the question
But
as
they have
related
to
as they can relate to it as a human.
or they have to the homework stretches far out than just reading a script and knowing your person through the words. You have to do the background work on your character, who that one is. It must be a masterclass in acting.
Oh, 100%, because I can tell you now, the dad, if there was Oscars for acting like a genuine dad on a TV show that wasn't like a comedy sitcom, that was a
Yeah.
genuine documentary, this guy should have won an award for just
Yeah.
something. I don't know what, because the dad
Just
just
let's give him the Monsters Up North podcast award for just great dads. Just being a great dad. He uses her name to the correct amount of time. Like he says it the correct amount of times and then references daughter. It was so clever how when it was serious, it was his daughter. When it was personal, it's Alice or
you,
Ali.
you could see him as well. Like there's moments when they asked him a question and he pauses and you see his eyes like darting all over the place and he's thinking about the answer.
Hmm.
And then he comes out with a response. And so watching that felt like that wasn't scripted, like the pause wasn't scripted. It was him genuinely thinking of
Yeah.
an answer. How would I answer this? And this is what I'm going to say. So that's why I think that I don't necessarily think it was overly scripted. Like you say, there was plot points that they had to
I,
follow to
I
get to
feel
it.
like there was, but
Yeah.
again, there wasn't. There's no notes on. It's not like Blair Witch how it tells you like every detail because it was the most. It was no, I don't want to say one of its kind, but it was very much like the first one that was kind of like done the way it was done and put out there and promoted the way that it was done. So Alice unfortunately is found dead,
Yes.
and you get to see it.
Yeah. And that's where the makeup genius comes in because they do a proper close up right on the face and you see warts and all.
Oh, everything, and you need to. The point is, you need to. You have to. You
It's got to
can't.
stay in your
It's
brain.
got to stay in there. You have to remember this face. You have to remember what you are looking at. Because they don't go back to it too often. So you have to rely on your, yeah, I think it's only once. And you have to rely on your own memory for this. And the fact that they got bloating, this is one thing that infuriates me in televisions and in movies when people have been in water. They do not come out looking the way they did before they went in. They bloat. The skin changes dramatically, the coloring changes. How real that looked. It was awful, but so real and very much appreciated from somebody who, you know, loves a bit of realism.
I will say the way it was just close up on her face, and the way they did the news report of showing them pulling her onto the gurney stretcher and then leaving the stretcher on the floor, and how the cameraman just zoomed straight in, and like from the news, and you see it from the side, and you're like, oh, but then when you get that like camera flash kind of thing of being on her front, like face, like
Yeah.
seeing her face straight in front of you, and it hits you and you go fucking hell, and it does stay with you because you're like, wow, I
I
was
can
not
still say
expecting that, and
I
it
can
just stays in your brain.
and still see it and still see it.
The dark background because it was night, and the
Mhm.
whiteness of her face and the leaves in her hair and just the general
Muck,
crap, the contorted
muck, and
expression.
And the
That's
fact
the
her
thing.
jaw was slack. Did you notice? Slack jaw. And their eyes.
Yeah.
Her eyes weren't closed. Because it doesn't fucking
One was sort of
happen.
half open and the other was like swollen shut. It looked like it was
Yeah.
swollen
Well,
shut.
because that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. It was so real, so very real. And to add, that people might say, well, that kind of takes you out of it because you wouldn't see that in a documentary. That is not the case at all. Go and watch Paradise Lost, the first one, within the first 5 minutes while fucking Sanitarium by Metallica are playing, you see them boys as they are found. Everything.
West Memphis 3, isn't it?
Yes. You
Yeah.
see everything. So to say you would not have that in a documentary is far-fetched. It's not. It does happen.
Mm.
My chair is so squeaky tonight. I'm so sorry if it's picking up.
Yeah. Then it goes from the fact that they go back to interviewing the dad, and the dad's like, it was my job as her dad to identify her, and
Yeah.
the mum didn't need to see that. She didn't need that to be her last impression. But he said, this is the thing. Everybody didn't have to see what I saw. I know she's dead. I know she's dead. I saw her. She is dead.
Yeah.
I am the only one that knew that out of the family, because obviously the others didn't see it. So then you get onto this bit where how much of it was Matthew and how much of it is, it starts to get kind of blurred for me, but it clears itself up at the end. But this is the bit where it starts to get really blurred because you're seeing her.
So that's right. So the initially it starts with just noises. They start there's noises in the attic and there's noises downstairs, and they start putting rat traps down and gets exterminators in, and nothing seems to get rid of the noises. And instantly you go, oh, okay, so this is supernatural. This is the route we're going down, is the supernatural route. Okay, I'm in it. And the older brother then goes all full paranormal activity and starts setting. You would though. Starts. I mean, we probably wouldn't, because it's not our era. Like, it's not our thing to like go and set equipment up. We're too fucking lazy. Like, we can't be asked.
And it's none of my ruddy business. If you want to come and haunt me, it's fine.
I
Lovely.
mean,
I'm
I don't know what you're
boring.
getting out. I don't know what you're getting out of it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm so fucking boring. You don't really want to watch me. There's nothing exciting that happens.
if that's where your energy is going to after you have passed on, is coming to haunt the likes of me,
Yeah.
good God, go and find.
Yeah.
There must be 100 other things you can do in this universe than come and haunt me.
I'm 100% behind that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, Matthew decides to go, like I say, full paranormal activity and starts putting video cameras up everywhere, and he is so convincing, and very much she is. I took this photograph. I've been taking this photograph. This was so conveniently set up. I've been taking this photograph of my garden for X amount of times, and then this one time she's in the garden.
Uh-huh. And then the neighbors, they catch, well, not the neighbors, friends of the family catch a long distance, far away shot of someone that looks like her. And then the other neighbors catch him walking through the fields, and you can see he's wearing a hoodie, and it's all very. This is where it starts to get like, I would be fucking furious if I was those parents.
Yeah. So, well, what it's leading up to is, so the mother, because these photographs look so real to her, she is now convinced herself she is still alive.
Yeah.
Now, his theory is completely blown out of the water in a second, and I will get there. So yes, but that then triggers Dad, and like Dan said, Dad is the only one who saw her dead, and it makes a massive point about the fact that he is the only one who saw it, and he's carrying that. Now he's questioned himself.
Yeah. He
Have I
feels
made
like,
a
was it
mistake?
even her? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm the
don't
only
know.
one who saw her.
Yeah.
I'm doubting myself. Now, it turns out these images are all fake. They're all being manipulated by Matthew. And his reasoning was to get her exhumed, because that's what they do. They exhume her in order to prove that she is dead. totally blown out of the water because he started doing that before the doubt came in. And
He
he
was
said he wanted to do that, just for his mother to have peace of mind.
he was
No,
fucking with his parents. He was
you were torturing them.
yeah, I could never forgive him for
Mm-mm.
doing that, for giving you hope, for
Yeah.
giving you um hope is such a desperate thing to have. Not necessarily a bad thing, depending on circumstances, but hope when it comes to people who have passed away or that are missing, it's an awful thing to put that doubt in someone's mind. And it's a poisonous thing because that will eat you from the inside out. And then what did they do? Like you say, they exhumed the body. Then the mum had to go. Didn't she say she had to look for herself? They had to do it to make sure it was
So
her.
imagine what she looked like then. Imagine what she looks like now.
Exactly. So the mum's now got this. The one thing she didn't want was the ability to see her daughter in that state. She's now in a decomposed state. Let's be honest.
Oh, she probably wouldn't even be. It wouldn't. It would have been a puddle.
It would have been very gross because it wasn't very long between the exhumation and the initial finding of the body. I think it was only months.
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't a long period of time. But if you're in the water for as long as she was, bloating is
Putrefaction.
inevitable. Oh, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. But that bloat has to go. You can't you in some respect in some ways you can't do a full embalming,
Yeah,
the whole that can't be carried out, so a lot of fluid that would be taken out. I'm so sorry if people are not interested in this, but a lot of fluid that would have been taken out of the body when they're doing the embalming, that wouldn't have happened, so the likelihood is it's just smush.
correct. Yeah, she would. The putrefaction would the decomposition and putrefaction would have become such a point when they pulled her out. There would be nothing to embalm. Basically, they cannot
They
embalm
couldn't.
something that couldn't withhold the skin would not be able to contain the embalming fluid.
Mm,
It wouldn't be ever in any kind of state to withhold it, so it would just seep out
no.
because.
It wouldn't, nothing would have stuck. And to be honest, they would have wanted to get her in the ground as quickly as possible.
So this is the point
Uh,
we're trying to get across. The
oh
point.
yeah, how bad it is for the mother at this point.
So you're telling me that kid isn't getting his rocks off watching his parents because you know this
Sick
boils down to the
motherfucker.
fact that he was jealous of the attention Alice got in death because it
Yeah.
has to be. There's no other real explanation to why Matthew did it. And he uses, like you say, the guys to say, oh, I was doing it to make sure they were going to exhume it. No, you were
No,
pretending to be her in the forest with her hoodie on.
you did that before that idea even crossed their mind.
100%.
You sick motherfucker. I mean, Jesus Christ, we've seen enough fucking Stephen King adaptations where older brothers have passed on and the kid get, like, just go on an adventure. Like, don't torture your fucking parents.
And then they work out it's her. They do the DNA match. They're like, yep,
Yeah,
100% her. It's
and
100%
they have
her.
to rebury her. So not only did they have to do it the fucking first time, they now have to do it a second time. Um,
Now, bearing in mind, if I was the ghost, I'd be pissed at this point, but
I'd be
carry on.
fucking furious. Fucking stealing my thunder. So yeah, mother June decides that
Mother?
she's not quite finished yet with the paranormal side of things, and
She's.
she reaches out to the world's worst psychic, Ray Kemeny.
Can I just ask a question just before we get to Ray?
Uh-huh.
Whether she admits it while she's talking about Ray or just before, where after Alice dies, she started to go for walks at night and go in
Mhm.
people's houses. Did there was a section where she talks about it, and I can't remember if it's like a dream or she was actually doing it because it's one of those monologues to camera where she said, after Alex died, I used to go for long walks at night and I used to walk in people's houses and look and think, oh, this is what a family's like. And I was haunted by that. I was like,
Bitch, if
okay.
you walked in my house, like grief or no grief.
I would,
I'm windmilling you out of the place.
yeah, I mean, I couldn't remember whether that came straight after they, when they're doing the interviews afterwards, or it was to do with this guy. But I feel like she genuinely did that. I don't feel like part of a dream.
Okay.
So
Well,
that I felt quite unsettled by. So
I
she became a problem to me from that moment. I mean, I know everybody handles grief differently, but
well,
like,
isn't this the idea of this? Like, as in getting everyone's different, because there's no set rule on grief at all. So who's to say what's, I mean, that is wrong. I'm not going to say right or wrong, but walking into some booker's house, like, no, like, no, that's personal space. And we value our personal space. And my cats would be furious. But Ray, I said world's worst psychic. He is a hypnotherapist at fucking best. Psychic? You went so far to call him a psychic?
as we all know, and they make it very, very clear, this guy hasn't got a goddamn clue what he's doing.
No, no,
And
no.
so they do him in a good light, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
In the respect of that, they show he's pretty much a charlatan.
Well, yeah, because he outs himself
Yeah,
constantly. All he does in his readings is say the same shit over and over again. Your loved one is there. Your loved one is, they're happy on the other side. Like it's just bullshit talk. And he is very good at it. He is, like I said, he's a hypnotherapist at a push.
yeah, he's planting suggestions for sure. He's Darren Brown in the audience. He's telling you what he's telling you things subliminal, he's just doing his money's
He's
work.
a fucking charlatan, is what he is.
I I have my own issues with psychics, and I'm not talking about people who have a gift that don't earn money from it. That's something separate, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, 100%.
If you have a gift and you don't benefit from it financially and you don't impose that gift on random strangers in the street, lovely. I honestly, I'm more inclined to believe someone like that.
Yeah.
Personally, if you're accosting random people in the street and telling them that people are walking behind them that they have loved and lost and missed, or you are financially gaining from any kind of readings like Derek Akora or Sally, I would think twice about it because Darren Brown is somebody that I went to watch and he debunks the
Oh, yeah.
whole thing. He tells you how they do it. He tells you how they set you up. He tells you how they put the suggestions in your brain. And I've got to be honest, I find it very distasteful. Very distasteful. You
I,
are in someone's most vulnerable time of their life. They are looking
I,
for any scrap of hope or
yeah.
communication or to talk to somebody they love for one last time to say the things they need to say, right? And I
Mhm.
get they think they're helping them because they can get that emotion out and they can get that feeling out. But at the same vein, you're telling them that that person is still there and that person is still with them. You don't know. You don't know.
I fucking hope not. I really, really hope not.
I don't
I
want
hope
anyone.
you've
No.
got better things to do. If there is an afterlife, go and enjoy it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who I've never actually been to a personal reading, which probably would shock the shit out of a lot of people. But yeah, I have never been to one before. I know a lot of people who have been and they've found solace and they've found something there, and I'm really, really happy for them. But for me, I don't want to fucking know. Like, I really don't. I would like to live in my own head. I think grief is a huge thing for me. It is one thing that I have carried around with us since I was 14 years old when I lost my friend and then instantly lost my grandmother. And then a few later, it was just one after the other. And this is why I identify and I don't want to say like love, but have such an infinitive thing when it comes to grief in movies. So Talk to Me and Bring Her Back was quite I li- I like to see that grief is handled so differently that I could go, oh, that's okay, mine was okay. Like it's okay because I am different. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
I get what you mean. It's okay to portray different ways of the way that people handle grief. You can throw yourself into the paranormal if that's where you find solace. And I'm not knocking the person
No,
who's
no.
grieving's choice. This isn't about you going because I understand the reasons behind you
Yeah,
going. I'm talking about the people taking advantage, like this Ray in the film.
yeah, fucking
He's
yeah.
clearly taken advantage of a grieving family.
Hmm.
And especially when it comes out that you realize that he saw Alice 3 months before she died, but he never mentioned it to the family,
Doesn't
even though
fucking
he knew
say that.
exactly what he was
Yeah,
doing. So
it's
that,
it's
it's this whole charlatan.
yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I find it hard to put into words why movies about grief kind of help me in a way, because it's easy enough for us to sit there and say, you handle your grief, you can handle everyone's grief is completely different. But when you feel like yours is, oh, am I being too this or am I being too, or have I not been enough of this or have I not done enough of that? And then you see someone else trying to negotiate through it and it's like, oh, okay. No, I'm fine. Everything's okay. I resonate so deeply with it that it's can be sometimes hard. So this is why this has kind of like stayed with us a bit. Um, before Ray outs himself out to be the world's biggest dickhead
Yeah.
and not tell the family that he is, actually been seeing Alice as a client, before all this happened, they hold a seance.
Yeah.
This really outs him as the charlatan that he is. Howie, even the worst
Weird.
fucking psychic could have like fucking like fooled that one.
Amazing.
Couldn't there? Like they really could. He really could have laid it on thick, but he was like trying his hardest to like, this is real. Nothing happened.
Nothing
Like
happened in any of the sessions that you see him do.
nothing
Nothing.
happens.
Nothing. I mean, something happened, but I don't think it had fuck all to do with Ray doing his seance, let's be
No,
honest.
no. But hey, who appears in the footage? None other than Alice herself. Now this is
So,
after Matthew.
yeah, see, this is the thing. You see Matthew sitting there, so you know it's not Matthew in the background. So you're led to believe it's Alice's apparition ghost
Mm.
body.
Oh, that is one of the ones that the seance bit is the one where he faked that one. So that is all that's part of the fake.
Right.
Um, so where are we?
Is that the one where he admitted he was putting videos of her and getting the reflections off the mirror?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, and he shows you how he does it. Now, the mother June can't understand why her son would do this and started going back through the footage. And what she finds is an image that is being completely overlooked because they are looking at this fakery of her daughter, her dead daughter, by the way, in this shot. They miss the fact that there is another person in the shot. You have their neighbour, Brett Toohey?
Yeah, I think it's Tui. Yeah.
Toohey? I was like, wow, that is a very
This uh,
Australian name.
there needs to be a trigger warning if you are so inclined to need one for essay, possible many grapings and all sorts of nonsensical,
No.
absolute bullshittery from the neighbours.
Yeah, trigger warning in place. So yeah, the mother spots Brett in the home and she goes to she's trying to piece together why would her neighbor be in her house late
Skulking
at
around in
night.
the dark.
Yeah, like a little rat that he is. She goes to her daughter's safe. The fact that she knew that her daughter had one, privacy, like come on.
But she clearly never looked through the book
No,
or
she didn't.
gone
She
or
because if she
watched it
did.
prior to this. So,
Mhm.
well, prior to the point of which she
So we're now heading away from paranormal because it's been debunked, and we're heading in now to home invasion,
yeah, and oof,
the the worst. And when what she discovers in her daughter's safe is a videotape, and she puts two and two together that this videotape must have meant something to him And that's why he's in the house looking for it, or looking for something. And when she sees the contents of said videotape, she realizes why he was looking for it. That was pretty graphic, by the way.
It was. I'm glad it was as grainy as it was because I didn't need.
Yeah.
But
Don't need to see butts in that, but yeah.
it was. She was their babysitter. They were their next door neighbors, the couple, and they had 2 boys. And she went over and she babysit for them for 2 years. She did this. And the contents of the video is basically what looks like her being compliant and complicit in it. But there is a tiny little quick thing that if you catch it, you see her wiping a tear from her eye.
Mhm.
And if you're observant enough, you catch that, you realise, well, hang on a minute, what the fuck am I about? What is this?
Yeah.
I don't think.
And thankfully, we don't see.
But it
And
cuts quickly into a graphic sex kind of scene of the dad and then her and then the mum with her top off. Not her parents, want to make that very clear, the neighbours. And it's so grainy, you can make stuff out, but you don't see anything at the same time. I'm so thankful they went that route with it.
But you needed to see the first bit before you saw that bit. But the family sell their house and leave.
And I don't think we've said this, but Alice is only supposed to be around 15 or 16. This is what makes it.
Did I not?
I don't think we did, but just in case we didn't, she is supposed to be around 15 or 16 years old.
16.
So that's what makes this even worse. This is another layer of like shame and unprocessed trauma that this poor girl's going to have on top of absolutely everything else.
Yeah. So the family that this who were involved fuck off to avoid prosecution.
Never
and
to be seen again.
Yeah. Well, the dad does explain that, if they did pursue it, what would they get at the end of it? And the fact that they were a way out of their lives, and not there's not to be honest, in their world, they had enough going on to not even fucking add this into it.
I get it, but I would be playing the long game with that. And
Upright and petty as fuck.
I would never let that slide. I would find him and just
I would go full Dominique Dunn.
I would be very much in the inclined way of saying, you didn't see me, right? And body parts
you fucking you didn't see me, right?
Body parts would be going missing, okay? And they would not even be sold on the black market. They would be burnt in a fire whilst still.
Oh my God, are you just fucking full on Dexter in it?
I'm going fucking John Wick. You kill my dog, I fucking fuck you up. I would find some sort of way. I couldn't let that slide. That's abhorrent. You know, whether she looked like she was compliant or not, she clearly felt
there was signs there, and there is signs later on.
It's so sad to see how her friends, when they start interviewing her friend who had been always lovely about her, and then they bring this up, and her friend just turns on a dime on her, and I hated her friend.
Instantly disliked them.
And she would just turn around. Her friend was being interviewed, and she was all like, "Well, she had her secrets. Clearly, she had her secrets," and it was kind of like making it out like she was banging the neighbours. You know, it
was shamed her.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't like, well, hang on a minute. This is absolutely awful. And was she pressured into it? Is she okay? You know, and she knew she was going through something. She even says numerous times, that girl, there was something going on with Alice, but we just didn't know what it was. Oh, hang on a minute.
Fucking ask the question. Fucking ask your friend. This is soon after that bit. Ray finally admits that he's actually had been seeing Alice as a client several months before she died. Now, what got me was when they opened the diary. So her mother finds this out by opening her diary and finding Ray's card, and I paused it and I went, no. He was seeing her at the same time. Like, okay. Yeah, so he was singing it, and it was again, this is why I say he's a hypnotherapist at best, because he makes you go back he's kind of like reliving things. Or you're standing in front of your house. What do you see? Can you open the door? Where can you walk to? And he is literally doing that. What? Sorry. Where's the psychic ability? Where is it, Ray? Non-fucking existent is where it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So, why is she there for? Oh yes, because she's having a recurring dream of drowning.
Yeah. And she then goes on a school trip. This is where she hits the kids' school trip where all the girls go out, and there's lots of footage on the phones, which is really grainy and really hard to watch. But they go out to Lake Mungo for a school trip, and this is where she has that moment where they catch her burying her stuff.
Oh, that's right. So what she's seeing Ray for is because she's having a recurring dream of drowning,
Yeah.
being dead, and her mother not being able to see or help her.
Yeah.
That is a huge factor. That
Yeah.
right there. Drowning, being dead, mother not being able to see or help her. And yes, you are right. Alice's boyfriend, Jason, who was completely blindsided by the whole thing with the neighbor,
Yeah.
had given her his family phone to do footage for the school trip. Because remember, this is pre-iPhone era.
2005, I think it was supposed to be based in 2006, something like that was when
Yeah,
it was supposed to have happened.
2005, because that's when Alice died.
Mhm.
Not really, but she did. So yes, she's taken footage on the grainy ass phone. What's she doing? She buries it, doesn't she? No, what does she bury?
She buries the phone, a necklace, and a watch. And it's like her three prized possessions, I think her dad said, in a carrier bag. And you see one of the other girls catches her on mobile, like on her knees, burying it in the ground. And then you're like, what the hell what's she doing? And then it starts raining and they all run away. But you can see the sheer panic on her face when she's being caught on the camera for like what she's looking around, she's like absolutely distraught. And then
So
yeah,
yeah, but before she buries it,
yeah.
there's footage of her running around Lake Mungo,
Yeah.
and this is where
Exactly what that is until the parents then decide to go and find the bag because
that's
they find the
right.
photo. They find they see the photo or the video footage of her burying it. So then they decide
Yes,
to go out to Lake Mungo and see if they can find what she buried.
that's right.
So they find the phone, they find the watch, they find the necklace or the bracelet, whatever it is, and then they charge the phone and they watch the video.
That is correct. Yes, and that's her. So yes, she's lost. It looks like she's lost. She's kind of like it's a bit scattered. And bearing in mind, this is grainy as F. But what you see here, as clear as day, is Alice come face to face with herself
In the
as
same facial pose.
bloated, dead Alice. And literally, I probably would have died on the spot.
I would have had a heart attack.
You wouldn't have had to wait for me to drown because I would have just fucking collapsed right there and then.
Mm-hmm. And you see her just run. You see her see it up close, and it pauses for long enough for you to take in what you're seeing.
Oh yeah, you get to see it. As long as you saw her bloated body on the floor,
Yeah.
you saw that image.
Yeah, but she was fully dressed this time. Like she had a hoodie on. So she was dressed like the pictures that Matthew was faking at the beginning. So you see the hoodie, but then you see the wet hair or like greasy hair, and you see the contorted face, but it's not as clear obviously as the picture you saw earlier, but you're trying to make it out and you're like, oh my God, that's that. And then she just legs it.
Yeah. Yeah, she runs away and she's not confronted, she's like comforted by her friends, and you can clearly see that she's scared. There's a look of fear from what you can see anyway.
The dad says, I genuinely believe she saw a ghost.
Yeah,
I genuinely saw a ghost. And the dad's been very straight down the line. He's
no
not discounted anybody's feelings. He's not
mm-mm.
belittled anybody. He's not even put down Ray at this point, or even shouted at Matthew, or even been angry at the people that was sexually assaulting his daughter. He has just been very middle of the road. But when it came to this, he's like, you could see just this element of like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, she saw a ghost. I truly believe she saw a ghost, and the enthusiasm level, not enthusiasm, that might be the wrong word, but the conviction and the true belief that he thinks she did.
If anyone's going to be able to confirm that
Alice.
Alice
Oh,
actually stuck. I've seen him live.
oh,
If I know, fucking hell. That was many, many years ago. But yeah, there's one person who can confirm what she saw was herself dead, then it was going to be him because he's the only one. The mother, now remember, the mother sees her after the execution. Is that a word? Have I just said a word?
Exhumation. Yeah.
That is not what I said. Yeah, so the mother's seen her at that stage. The father saw her as she was found. So it's two very different. So he's gonna know. He's gonna know that was her, and he does. The conviction he has in she saw a ghost. He doesn't say her. He doesn't say she saw her.
Yeah.
We make that an assumption up
Yeah.
because we know as well. But so does he, and he's like, yeah, she saw a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they believe that Alice has finally been able to tell them what she wanted to tell them,
Mm-hmm. So
which I
what?
don't know what it is.
So what does the mum do? Goes to Ray again.
Well, yeah.
One last time to see if
One
she's
last
still around in a motel room.
weird. Um, yeah, but she does. Now, this is where it gets interesting again. And so you've got a side by side. You've got Alice's, I nearly said Laura. You've got Alice's last encounter with Ray, and you've got the mother's last encounter with Ray. And they are both seeing. So, let me see if I get this right. June is saying, I can't see her no more. She's not in her room no more. She's not there anymore. While she's saying that, Alice is saying, I can see Mum. She's standing in my room. She's not acknowledging us. She can't see us. And the mum's now, oh, okay, now I can't see her. She's gone. Alice is freaking the fuck out because her mother can no longer see her anymore. That is the most heartbreaking part of this whole film.
The sadness about this film is that the parents and Matthew decide to move from the home and move away.
Well, because they believe she's gone now. Because,
They believe
yeah.
she's gone because they found out her story.
Uh-huh.
So they feel at peace. I want to put underscores under they. They feel at peace. So they have moved on, right? No.
Somebody else hasn't.
They left someone behind, and she is stuck in that house. She is stuck in the purgatory, reliving the memories over and over again. And she cannot leave.
And the last thing she knows is her mother couldn't see her and walked away from her or left. When you have that side by side with the two of them and the realization is kicking in that they're both in the same place at the exact same time, and she can't see her but she can see her mum. If it was the other way around, I don't think it'll be as impactful that she could still see her, because it's like, oh, okay, well, she's still in the house. All right, oh, that's good for you. She's still there. The fact that the mother can't see her and now she gets to move on, she's allowed to move on, but poor Alice is having to be stuck where she is, that broke me.
Because the camera crew take a photo of the family outside their property just before they drive away. And this is where you see them zoom up to the window and you see a shadow or a outline, or it's not a very clear picture, but you see it's
her.
Alice.
Yeah. You see
And
that silhouette that you've seen throughout the whole film.
And then what they tend to do after this is go back and prove to you that she's always been there throughout the whole thing. Even the hoax photos, discount those, but in the background, there's always Alice. She's somewhere distracted from the original line of sight, which might have been a birthday video. She was in the background. The videos of him that he faked, she was sitting in the corner, or she's on the back, or she's poking her head round the corner, or she has been there throughout all of this.
And they've gone and left her.
And they just left her there.
But is that a gift? Is that a gift that Alice has been able to give them, that they do have some peace, that they can? There's nothing Alice can do anymore. She is no longer here. And is that something that she can then, that she's like, that, I don't know if
no, because I believe at the very end credit scene, you see the flashes of lightning, and she is just stood in the middle of the lake by herself, lonely, nobody's there, sopping wet, and the lightning bolts just keep like illuminating just her standing by herself. Like it looked like purgatory to me. It looked like she was
it's
that bit was the bit that nailed it home for me to believe that she still has unfinished business. She still has
something. There's something else. There's
the
more.
inability to move on because there's something else.
Yeah, you may have found one thing, but you haven't found the rest of it. You've only just scratched the surface, and then, oh God, yeah, that ending, because like we mentioned before, the layers of this, the themes of it, but also the story of it, where you think it's one thing and it's not, it's another, and it takes you here, there, and everywhere, but then to end up at this horrible, painstaking moment of pure grief is just, it's like, your whole body like kind of like recoils and like, oh my God, what have you done to me?
It's horrible.
It is, but was so fucking good. Like, as I am finding, as my age is getting to me, movies that leave a mark on me mean so much more than, your typical, me. I know what I mean. Theories. So many theories, and I just went with one. What you got?
I went onto the subreddit for horror for Lake Mungo. So I went onto the subreddits for this one because I was curious, shall we say. So I found 3 different people who are following the same train of thought but have different views on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the first one's called Angsty Panky, which I thought was funny. And they basically say that they think Matthew did it. They think Matthew killed Alice in the water and drowned her. And everything he did after that was out of guilt, like the faking photos of her and all that sort of stuff, and trying to get like, they think he left her to drown, because at no point do they say, oh, we went back in trying to find her. We just stood on there calling Alice. And he was like, when he came out of the water, he was like, where's Alice? I could tell she hadn't picked up her towel. He was in the water with her. Why didn't he know to come out with her?
Oh, okay.
And so if you go deeper into this person's theory, they also say that the brother, you can tell he's not quite socially there.
No, and his friends make a point of saying he's very quiet.
Yeah. And
he's even more quiet now.
Yeah, and they're saying that they think he probably found the sex tape and he knew about all that. And they think that he found out maybe about the issue with next door, and he kind of blamed her for causing issues, and that might be a response, like why he killed, like one of the reasons behind why he killed her, because it would bring shame on the family and all this sort of stuff. And they also say it's very common for killers to revisit the scene of the crime, and you see him, that's where they take the photos of her near where she but it was Matthew, obviously, And then they're saying that the family was so detached from it, as well. So they're saying they're fractured, and the dad's buries himself in work. The mum just absolutely does her own thing. Um, they're saying that they think Alice's real intention, her unfinished business, was that her brother killed her. So that's why the ending is so depressing, because Matthew essentially gets what he wants, which was to be the center of attention. And then Alice is left in this kind of limbo state. But like it goes back to this constant thing that maybe Matthew was obsessed with Alice and what happened, and he felt like she needed to be punished, and he killed her, and then he got away with murder, and that was why she couldn't move on, because he got to live the life and she didn't. So
Hey, people have killed for less.
oh,
What's it called? You know, it's matricide is mother.
patricide.
Patricide. What's sister?
I don't know.
What's it called to kill a sister?
I want your Google history.
No one would want to see my Google history. Soricide. So Sororicide. Sora, yeah. Soricide. Okay, Michaela, Soricide. That's a weird one.
Yeah, and then the second one was from another person called silly_anywhere4292. They said they have a theory that several people were complicit in the murder. They think that um, something was planned before she died, but the neighbors, Matthew, Ray, they think that Matthew and Ray were plotting together,
I don't think
which
Ray's clever enough.
yeah, that's what I'm like. But the way that they say that they apparently Ray and Matthew go on a trip, and they do mention they go on a trip.
They do, and he goes and sees his client.
Yeah, with Matthew, because he thought
Mm.
he'd help him. And they said that just seems really strange thing to do, to let your son go with this guy that clearly is a shark. Like it just seemed
Full
very,
on charlatan.
yeah. And so
Oh, okay. I never really thought about
they're
that bit.
saying that maybe Ray put her into this state, and then Matthew was able to finish the job, kind of thing. Like it was a two-man.
Honestly think they're giving Ray way too much credit. The man couldn't even fake a seance.
That's true. And then the third one was by Wrong Son 2829. And this is what they say, word for word. For me, this movie works as one of the most haunting depictions of depression and mental illness.
No
It
way.
captured such a crushing experience so accurately. The isolation, the skewered lens you view, any positive memory, revisiting soars to the point that it no longer brings you comfort and eventually hurts you to think of what's going on. How blind the closest can be to those struggling around them, how we all are our own worst enemies, and most of all, the overwhelming feeling that there is nothing you can do to subvert such fate and it will never get any better.
Fuck.
And they basically go on to say that horror is subjective. What frightens one can be boring to another, which is
Mhm.
why there is so much hate for this film, as well as so much love for this film. Everybody's got their own interpretation. It doesn't need jump scares. It doesn't need cliches. It finds its audience for the people that it's right for.
Yeah.
And it is more to do with real actual human horror than it is to do with, even though there's the supernatural element, this is a
Mhm.
tale of people. This is
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
capability of what a family can do, the destruction, and like they say, the mental illness. They basically said Lake Mungo is one of those movies I will never forget, and I certainly will never watch again. Once is all it ever needs. So
I'm gonna disagree with the last bit because I'm gonna watch it again this weekend with my husband. But no, I fully agree with everything that person said. It's the dreaded feeling of I if they couldn't hear or help me in life, they're not going to do it in death, and it's that dreaded. There's a lot of dread there, and oh, I feel very cold thinking about it.
Yeah, it's the fact that I think that person hit it on the head with that first paragraph, how it is mental illness, it
Yeah.
is everything bad, and her ghost is the manifestation of a life that was too sad and too stressful and too abhorrent for somebody as young as her to have ever had to have gone through. Hence
Yeah.
why she's this mixed ball of just
Yeah.
whatever, hence why she's there. She's trying to express to them that it's not done and dusted. Her story's not told. Her story's still there, and they need to
And,
continue on telling it or finding things out. But
and you're just leaving her.
no sequel. You will never know. And I like the fact that
Yeah. That's yeah.
what's your
Same.
theory?
Okay, I'm gonna read it word for word. I found this on a really random website. It has no other entry than this, and it just is Lake Mungo wiki. Okay, according to this theory, Alice may have encountered a creature that kills or significantly hastens the death of anyone who witnesses it. The frequent research, evacuations, and school trips at Lake Mungo, and just general general talking about the history of the area inadvertently broke Aboriginal superstitions around the dead and may have been enough to awaken this creature. That last bit is actually true. Interestingly enough, the theory also suggests that investigating Alice's life and taking part in the documentary may have been what prolonged the haunting, and maybe why Alice is shown to still inhabit the house by the end of the film, which also lines up with the Aboriginal folklore around the disturbing the dead, which is what you were talking about earlier. The stinger, where a figure that resembles Alice can be seen standing at Lake Mungo, lends credence to the theory that what happened to Alice there may not be limited to her and may still pose a threat to anyone else who goes there. So they're taking it down mythological, folklore, and potentially spirituality.
So are they saying it's like a mimic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Get
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing about when Dan was mentioning earlier about the Aboriginals wanting to have the dead buried back where they found them is very much what they're saying here, is that Lake Mungo will be where it will always be.
Yeah.
And her dying there has awoken in something.
Yeah.
This creature.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily elaborate on the creature. I just found that one interesting. There
No,
was
it
so
is.
many that I'd seen, but it was to be honest, the first one with Matthew, I'm kind of putting my hat in there. Like,
Yeah, some of the comments under that Reddit post were very much of the way of people saying, well, no, the director said that's not the case. But you don't ever see an interview with Joel Anderson. You will never, there's nothing from it.
no, the only thing I saw is everything's down to your interpretation.
Yeah.
I made this for your interpretation. You make your mind up.
And it is a story of grief. And that's all I've heard him say. It is a story about grief. And if you look and watch, it is in honor to his father at the end, Rob Anderson, and he puts the dates of his father's birth and death. So it is a one man's journey of writing his own outpour of grief, and this is how it's come out, this movie. So it's an incredibly intensely personal film to Joel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just the layers of it. I know we've used that word so many times, but it's hard not to with this film because there's so much interwoven in it, and it can come across as messy, but grief isn't clean, and it's not clean cut, and it is messy, and I get where and how this was stitched together.
A lot of people were moaning that it's not horror. Why is everybody calling it horror? And it's like, I can't speak for these people, but life isn't rainbows.
No, it's fucking not.
Life will fuck you over when you're least expecting it. Life,
Literally.
you don't know anyone's journey because it's not yours. As much as you try to empathize or as much as you try to know someone's journey, you don't live in that person's head. You do not know what goes on.
You're not wearing my size 8.
You can only guess. and guessing is a game, as we know. So this, for people to say it's not horror, they're looking at it without looking at it.
You're looking at horror through one lens.
Yeah,
And
gore.
gore slash kills.
Yeah,
Horror is so what's what I'm looking for, Dan?
subjective.
It's subjective. Thank you. It's late. I apologize. Yeah, it's so subjective that the human condition can be as horrifying as your goriest of gore films.
And even worse because it's real.
Yeah.
Jason isn't going to come stalking me. Well, he might
Better
do.
fucking not.
But do you know what I mean? He's not going to come running through my front door. A person can, but Jason can't. You know, it's like horror is escapism, and I get that. But every now and again, you get the odd movie that's so real that can happen. I'm not saying the ghost bit, but I just mean that something so simple. I'm watching this journey of this family, and then the subtext and the everything that comes out about what a horrible, terrible, tragic, traumatic life that this 15, 16-year-old girl was going through whilst putting on a happy face. And even in death, her friend couldn't be her friend, and her mum couldn't be there for her, and her
mum
dad.
couldn't see her.
Yeah, and it's just absolutely, and her brother was faking her appearances, and the only person that was truly there for her was her dad, but her dad just had to keep going, so he moved on very.
Well, here's the thing. Do you think so? Clearly, the whole thing of her mother not being able to see her did her mother see her at all, even when she was alive?
I don't
They
think so.
mentioned the strained relationship, so there's that. If her dad did the sessions with Ray, would he have still saw her? Because I think he would.
Yeah, because I think the dad, I'm not necessarily saying she was a daddy's girl because there was nothing to suggest that.
But she certainly had a better relationship with her father than she did with her mother, because it's very much pointed out. And when you have films like this, these things matter to the story. Her mother not seeing her in death is no different than her mother not seeing her while she was alive.
I do like the cryptid idea, or the
mythical side of it.
I like that idea, although it's kind of off the table for me. I do like the idea of, you've died somewhere that is technically an ancient kind of holds a lot of.
That's why I use the word spiritual, because I don't know.
Holds a lot of mysticism, holds a lot of spiritual kind of meaning. And as with anything, the amount of faith you put into something gives it meaning. Like I will go back to, I know I shouldn't compare this, but a Ouija board. It is just a bit of wood until you give it the meaning that it's not. You know what I mean? It's a simple piece of wood with letters and numbers on. You give it the credence to be what a Ouija board is supposed to be, then yes, you are possibly playing with shit you don't understand, because
it was a child's board. Yeah, my mum freaks the fuck out when she sees mine. You don't know what you're messing with. I do, lady. It's just a bit of wood. It was in the middle of my wedding table. Calm the shit down.
But this is what I'm saying. It all comes down to how much faith you have in the object, the story, to whether it becomes real to you or not. And I just think, if flesh pedestrians, for example, which is the term I like to use for the Native American. I hate using the term because I don't want to bring it up, but people who wear other people's flesh and they are pedestrians. I don't like using the word because they say that you can possibly give it credence, and it's something that you have on your body, which is this stuff, and you do this when you go down the street. I don't want to say the words, but then I call them flesh pedestrians because it's just easier.
I don't like either of the fucking terminologies.
But that one has no connotations to it. They freak me out. And Native American mythology and beliefs are. I'm more inclined to believe them and Aboriginal because they've been here way before we were.
Way longer. Way longer. Yeah. Holy shit. Well, I got no more. Do you have any one-star reviews.
I have two. A lot of them were very hateful, not really interesting. They were just like, oh, call this horror. Yeah, oh, really? Okay. Yeah, nice. All right, John, with your pizza stains down your front of your t-shirt, you know.
Put your Freddy mask back.
Yeah. Oh, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street was my favorite horror film. You know, get him.
I'm no Freddy fan, but take that back.
Oh. Right, first one is from Eddie Krywald, and this was about a year ago.
Okay.
It's 1 star, and I think this one was on IMDb. My son researched about Lake Mungo in Australia for his project in history and found clips of this. He's traumatized and crying whenever his teacher brings it up. I hope you guys are happy. I give this a 0.
Did you think it was real? Did you think this was real?
All I'm going to say, Eddie, is job well done. If you think that this was a
Yeah.
real documentary and you had to go online to find out whether it's real or not, and you're berating them for freaking out your kid, job's done.
Wow. Yeah. It did its job. You might not like the end results, but it did its job. Wow. Okay, that's tickled me.
Yep. And the second one is just literally a 1 out of 10 on I can't remember. I didn't write this one down where it was from. Sorry, my bad. They've just put, I promised my friends a scary movie, and I no longer have friends. If we have a little violin, can we play it for whomever that one belonged to?
Oh my god, the Hulk music just came in my head. Everybody's standing.
Need some rain. God.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Losing your friends is a tough one. Losing it over this film is fucking hilarious.
People.
Oh wow, people put these on the internet, man. It's free to go and read.
Internet is forever, people.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, did you manage to connect? Do your 666 degrees of Jake? You did, didn't you?
Of course they did.
Is it? Where are you starting it from?
I'm starting this from June.
June.
The mother.
Oh, okay.
Rosie Traynor, who played June, appeared in the brand new Liam Neeson film, Ice Road Vengeance.
Go figure.
Liam Neeson was previously married to Natasha Richardson, who sadly passed from injuries caused by a skiing accident. But he's recently been linked to the stunning Miss Pamela Anderson.
Wow.
Pamela Anderson is famous for many roles, but my standout was the 1996 masterpiece, Barbed Wire.
Fuck yeah.
Her co-star, Xander Berkeley, has featured in numerous TV and movie roles from The Walking Dead, Terminator 2, to Candyman. See episode 62. In Terminator 2, he was impaled through the head by the beautiful Jeanette Goldstein, Vasquez from Aliens, and Diamondback from Near Dark. See episode 88. Bill Paxton played Severin in Near Dark, but I loved him as Chet in Weird Science. Robert Downey Jr. played the bully character called Ian. RDJ also starred in the 1993 movie Heart and Soul with Elizabeth Shue, who played Chris in Adventures in Babysitting. Thank you.
That was a roller coaster.
Yep.
That was a roller coaster. And you ended with RDJ? Fucking Iron Man?
I am Iron Man. No, you're dead, Tony.
No, you are
Too
dead.
soon. Too soon.
Oof. That was impressive.
Thanks.
That really was impressive. I like the fact that you plugged the episodes as well.
Well, it just sort of fell that way when I was going. It's like, oh yeah, he's in Candyman. Oh yeah, they're in.
He's a dick in Candyman, let's be
He is
fair. He's a
horrible.
dick in The Walking Dead as well, and he probably deserved it in what he got in Terminator 2.
Oh, he did. He was the Jeanette and him were like the parents, weren't they? They were horrible.
Foster parents, yeah. He's always playing a dick, but hey, it means he's doing his job really fucking well that we hate him in everything that he does. And Bill Paxton, wow. Wow. Have you ever used Bill? You've not used Bill before.
Yeah, I think I've used him once before because we did. Or did I use him for? I can't remember if I used him as the connection when we did Near Dark. I might have used Lance though. Can't remember. But
Go
this
back and
one's
watch it and
hard.
tell us.
There's nobody famous in this.
What?
This movie, Lake Mungo, there is nobody famous in.
Oh, right. Got you.
So you then start having to look at the background of the people. You then have to start looking at the how do I get to just
There to there.
way that can then snowball. And then I did look on her history. I was looking at everybody else first, and then I went on her history, and it was just like Liam Neeson, Ice Road Vengeance. I was like, thank
That'll
you.
do. There's the start.
Thank
That's the
you.
starting point. And Pamela Anderson as well. I really hope it's true about them too. I hope
Yeah,
they
they
found
look
each other.
so happy.
Yeah, I hope that it's having it because they both deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah,
She more than anyone in this world deserves a good man.
correct.
Oh, bless her. Right. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought there. Like, wow, okay. What are we doing next week? Oh, that's right. Tell the people, Dan.
Next week, we're going to go to somebody who's kind of a strange point in people's iconography or
Oh,
canon of humans on this planet. You either love her or you don't. I
yeah.
find that this
She
seems
is
to be
so Marmite.
he is very divisive, but we're going to give it a go because I feel like it has a lot of interesting behind the scenes feminism vibes because the lady that wrote it is very much in that vein. So I want to see how this will go down. We are doing Jennifer's Body.
Yes. Yes. I love this film. I loved it from the second it came. I used to have a Megan Fox as Jennifer on my wall. Yes. I am that person. Yeah, I've loved it. I mean, Diablo Cody, back in the day, loved Diablo Cody. I have a few Diablo's books. Juno was a huge one. She wrote so elegantly yet so differently, so Heathers. Very much. If you go and watch Heathers and then watch Jennifer's Body, you see the influence instantly.
Yeah, she's very much in the way of wanting to have female protagonists, female antagonists. She wants to mix it up, and this isn't me going all super
Feminist.
preachy on any of you because at the end of the day, that's not going to happen. But it's an interesting take on an idea, and I
Yeah.
think that this film doesn't get enough love
No.
for the core. I mean, it is a stupid premise, ridiculous premise, but I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's treated in a way that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Until it came out, which I think is.
And it's great that a possession movie doesn't consist of the fucking church.
And it's not an exorcism, and it's not all that crap as well. You're watching it from a totally different
Yeah.
perspective.
And a very, very young Chris Pratt is in it.
Yeah, and needy.
Yep. It's I love it. I can't wait for Jennifer's Body. What is wrong with me? I am so tired.
Aaron down now.
Yeah, I am. So this episode is available as always on a Monday. We go up at 10 o'clock at our home on the Nerdy Up North YouTube channel. The audio for our episodes goes up again on Monday, and you can find us from anywhere you get your podcast from. Simply search Monsters Up North podcast. You will find us. We will be there. The links for Bleeding Marvelous, Monsters Up North, Nerdy Up North are where, Dan?
Down there. They're down there.
You still that, yeah. Very, very pretty.
Ombre.
Very pretty nails.
Ombre for your liking.
I wonder if the audio listeners know what we're actually saying when we do this bit. It's Dan's nails we're looking at, by the way.
My talons.
I've got none. Short as anything. We also have a brand new Monsters Up North Facebook page. Just saying.
Yeah.
Go
Head over because you can see the new merch on there.
Yeah, little baddie pin, which I'm getting a lot of comments saying, how cute! I was like, get cute, go buy it!
They're only
You could
£4.
own it.
They're only £4. They're not mega expensive, and everything that you do buy will help the channel because we will eventually be able to get bigger and better merch for you and be able to, you know, hopefully plan some good stuff for you guys. But we've all got to start somewhere, in it.
Yeah. Wow, I'm sorry. I was trying to be you. I'll never do that again.
Oh,
Well, if there's nothing else left to say goodbye, Dan.
I had a dream last night. I was cold and wet. I felt heavy, like I'd been drugged. And when I woke up, the sensations didn't go. I was feeling sick and confused, and I was starting to get scared. I needed to see Mum, to talk to her. I stumbled into her room and I stood there at the bed watching them. I was overcome with this intense sadness. Then the sadness turned to fear. I just stood there, paralyzed with fear, and I realized there was nothing that they could do for me anymore. I've never felt so utterly alone. Everything felt wrong. My body, the way things looked. Then I realized that there was something wrong with me. I started to cry, standing there at the foot of their bed. Laters, gators.
Stay spooky, everyone. Bye.